Hey, all, Andy here, helping you build a career you love early on a Tuesday. Thanks for everyone who showed up to see that career changer case study with Tracy. And we're going to do a little Q&A now. So great to have you. Get in the chat, say hi, let me know where you're from. Put some question marks in front of those questions so we can hunt them down. I saw some great questions in the premiere. If you didn't get a chance to check that, it was a proven way. That's an antler behind me. Let's see who's dropping their bones and run. Hey, it's Tuesday morning, man. The dogs are running around, and it's just it's free game. It's free game. So it is I think it was called a proven way to. Hold on. Excuse me, Starla, Rocket, come here. Go. Okay. Yes, it's just too many dogs. It's just too many dogs. All right. So it was a proven way to make a career change, and Tracy offered loads and loads of great tips and tricks. That show will stay up on my YouTube channel. If you have no idea what I'm talking about, we just did a premiere right before this live show, and all the notes are in the description, and the breakdown and the steps and all that stuff is detailed by time, so you can check that out if you didn't get a chance to catch it. I saw some great questions that I wanted to carry over into this, but let's get in and say hi. Let me know where you're from. And just want to let you know that Tracy's case study will stay on my YouTube channel, so you can catch that replay. There's no limits on that. But tomorrow I do have a limited version live show. It's the first session of my 10th anniversary interview intervention training program. The program sells for $1,000, but you're going to get to see the first of the 5 major sessions gratis tomorrow if you can join me at 11 a.m. Central Standard Time. And then on Thursday, if you're a member of my job search coaching program, we're going to be doing some live case studies with you. So great to see everyone. All right, Kara, you know what? I want to speak to Dana's question. So Dana was watching the case study with Tracy, and she was asking me about it would be great to see a career changer resume. One of the things I think I'm going to do, I'm going on record, I'm telling you I'm going to do this. I will actually do a full show on, if I'm a career changer, how would I actually create my resume? And everybody is a little different, because it depends on how drastic a career change you're making. If you're making a slight pivot, that's one thing. If you're making a wholesale change, that's another. But there are some tactics that I can absolutely reverse engineer of how I would go through thinking through what would go on the resume. And one of the suggestions that I would make for all of you who are career changers who want to put your resume together, the template that I provide, whether you're in my premium programs or you grab the free stuff from YouTube or my blog or the Mile Walk Academy website, you can use the same template, and then it's a matter of the storytelling that you use throughout. But one of the things that I would recommend that you do before you even start writing your resume is think about what it is that you would need to show. So if I want to move from this career to this career, what is it that this career is going to be looking for? What is it they want me to do? What experience do they want me to have? And those kind of things. Make yourself an inventory of, here's what I need, here's what I have. And you might be surprised at the number of overlaps, especially as it relates to some of the what I call capabilities, right? Those foundational abilities and experiences and skill sets that you have attained that don't apply to the exact domain you're trying to move to, right? Or function. So if you're an engineer and you have great organizational skills, you might be a good salesperson, depending on your communication skills, your organizational skills, your persuasive speaking, and these kinds of things. Those are the foundational capabilities. And as you move over, you might surprise yourself at the number of domain-specific matches that you have, even though you didn't think in these terms. Last night, not like a dozen hours ago, I was working with somebody who is an investment research advisor. She works in Canada. Her forte is investment strategies for pension funds, mostly in Canada, usually for pension funds or corporations. And she and I were talking about her job search and how she wanted to apply for this particular role. She was getting some insight from a friend who I think was going to make an introduction. I was breaking down her resume and the job description. And one of the things she highlighted, excuse me, folks, come here, start. Come here, get in here. This is what I do quite a bit. Okay, come here, start. Come here. Over here. There you go. Okay. You don't know how many times a day I do that. All right, so we're on the pension fund. She's looking at the job description. I'm looking at her resume. And one of the things that I see that she highlighted was this statement about ESG and understanding the space because they want to be compliant. They want to move toward this. And she said, "Well, I don't have any of that. That's a gap." And I said, "Wait, let me see. I'm looking at your asset classes that you are providing investment advice for, and you have infrastructure here." And she said, "Yeah." And I said, "Well, infrastructure to me is a whole range. Let me ask you, do you have any of this?" Right? So we talked about the roads. We talked about the chemicals. We talked about energy. We talked about renewable energy. We talked about, she says, "Well, yeah, I have some of that. That's part of why." I said, well, on your resume, this needs to be blown out. Like I understand infrastructure is industry nomenclature, and somebody who's in the space will know what that means, except that what you want them to see and you want them to register that this is truly, in fact, something of a match. And it's not just on the resume, because there's a multi-part problem that career changers have. You have to get the interview, and then in the interview, and you heard Tracy talking about this, about, well, I studied up, I wanted to sound knowledgeable, I wanted to have the right questions so that I could facilitate a discussion. Well, when I said to the woman I was coaching last night, it's not just about having some of the nomenclature down, but also making the analogies for how what you do has applied to what they want you to do. So you're continually in the interviewing process saying, well, for my experience, and I would do it this way, and here's how I put the investment strategies together for this, that, and the other thing. For something in the governance area where I don't have as much experience, it would look like this. And to the extent that you can show them that you already come equipped with the ability to do that, and because you have some going in knowledge of how that's going to work, that's what gets you over the goal line as a career changer. And if they like all the other capabilities that you're demonstrating, you're going to have a much easier time. So there's a multi-step process, and I think I need to formalize it for you. It's probably something that I don't necessarily have in spades on my YouTube channel or even in the premium programs, even though I've gone through the 12 steps that I would go through as a career changer, but I probably could spell this out a little bit more. I think I'm going to challenge myself to do that, and I appreciate the scoop, Dana. Scoot, so I hope that helps. I want to say, hey, I saw a whole bunch of folks in the premiere with me, and I got to say hi over there. Joseph Luster, great to see you here. VJ, what's up? Deborah, sorry, it was nice texting with you there while we were live. Great to see you. Yvonne, what's up? On the left coast, you're up early. Does this mean you're up because you haven't? What is it? It's 5:45 your time. I appreciate that. So my Australian friends who don't usually get to watch me, it's probably late dinner for you, or the UKers is probably like late lunch hour for you. So great to see everybody. Daisha, what's up? A vegan for peace. Jillian, right, it's right after lunch for you. Dana, Jose Luis, can we give Jose Luis a huge shout out for his new job? He got in the job search coaching program and then like instantaneously got his new job. So that's awesome. Gilles, how are you? Dana, thanks again. Maria, great to see you. Loretto, New Life Curator, I think is that Sue or Stacy? I can't remember on the handles, but Kurt Ramil, what's up? Good to see everybody. Hey, Shelly, look at that little picture. Is that a young Shelly? Ha-ha. All right, let's see. What else? Kara, how am I doing on the questions? Is there, okay, insit? Is it, oh, wait, so you gave me some here? Oh, wait, from the Tracy. Okay, let's take a few of these other ones that are related to the career changer since I'm on the subject. Word Dog, how's my Canadian friend? Would returning to full-time after freelancing be considered a career change? What to do more of the same, yet on a more sustainable, steady basis? Okay, so what I don't know is, now think about this. You're not, if you're freelancing and you're an accountant or a project manager or an administrator or a whatever, and you just want to go to full time, if you stay in the same function, I would not call that a career change. If you were an accountant and then you were doing some freelance accounting work and you wanted to go full time as a project manager, then yes, I would call that a career change. I would call that a career change. You have access to the career changer stuff in the boot camp, not to mention all the job searching stuff. The mechanics of job searching do not change if you're a career changer. The focal point and the quantity of time that you spend in networking should be the highest of any job changer. Meaning, if I'm an accountant and I just want to be an accountant at another place, I'm spending a good portion of my time networking, but I'm also boss hunting and doing other types of networking-like activities like that. If I'm a career changer and I don't necessarily have boss hunting at my disposal, because boss hunting works if and only if you have what the boss needs at the moment, and career changers theoretically would not, because they're making a change in what they're doing, so they don't have the requisite skills, you're going to have to spend even more time networking. So these are just, slight differences that you need to be mindful of. But going from a freelancer to a full-timer may not be a career change if you're continuing to do what it is that you freelance or consult on. And then Dana was asking about, it would be cool to see a sampler career change resume. I did comment on that in the case study in the premiere. And again, it's so disparate. So what I think I'm going to try to do is I'm going to try to reverse engineer the formula for you, and I'll break it down, and then we'll walk it through. Gilles, how do you evaluate your value financially? Okay, so this is I don't love the expression, but it's part art and part science. So if I'm career changing, I'm looking at I'm trying to get a sense of, and by the way, only a sense, because I will tell you there are no absolutes, right? I hate when people say, Andy, the market pay is. No, there's no such thing as market pay for a marketer, an accountant, a senior engineer, a project manager. No, your value is a combination of what you're willing to withstand and what somebody is willing to pay for you, right, at any moment in time. Because you don't know on any given day what that company will pay today to get you to do what they need you to do. So it's a combination of, all right, I'm trying to get an idea of the ballpark. If I'm making a career change, then you want to start, and then, by the way, just think through this mechanically. If a project manager who has 5 years of experience is earning $100,000 or $125,000 or whatever the heck it is, and I want to become a project manager and I don't have any project management experience, I have a little bit of requirements analysis and business analyst skills, and I want to make this leap, I've got to be willing to say, okay, I'm willing to start at the low end of the range in order to get the experience. But then, all right, so then there's a matter of, okay, well, how many years of experience do you have? And then what is the accumulated capabilities that you have? A good project manager has what? Good customer interaction skills, right? They're supporting internal or external customers to build something. IT system, construction, a building, or whatever it might be. Re-engineering something, or whatever it might be. They also have what? good people management skills, good organizational skills. They might have good risk management skills, right? They might understand how to run committees, conduct meetings, facilitation, and so on and so forth. Now you're looking at that array of things. Have you done those things for another function, another job type that you've had? Well, the more of those you have, the closer you're going to get into the range, right? Now, if I have all of these things, and I've been a project manager in healthcare, but I want to move to financial services, there's only one thing you got to learn, which is the content in the domain itself. That's not as tough as I have to learn not only the subject matter, but I also have to learn what? The mechanics of all this stuff. And then where your value is in relation to what? Also the desire that you have. So for me, there is no floor that I wouldn't take, and I've done that twice. Actually, I even went below the floor because my floor was 0. When I made my career changes, I went from making a bunch of money to nothing. And one career change, I went from making a bunch of money over here to having to use the money to pay for something I wanted to do over here. So you think about what your floor is, and then you have to fight like heck to try to not go below that. But for me, the longer term you think, the greater short-term decision you make, and the more you eliminate risk if you're giving yourself more time to make the change. Meaning, I don't really care if you start me at 50 grand or 70 grand or 100 grand or whatever, because you know what? I'm going to collapse the gap because I'm going to bet on myself. And it means more to me to be in the job that I want with the passion, that I have for what I'm doing, right? And so I can say that with a straight face because I went from making that to 0, meaning willing to bet on myself. You might be able to do that. You might not be able to do it. And you might say, well, Andy, that's great. I got 4 kids. Okay, well, that's part of what you need to factor in to making enough money to put food on the table and pay for the college tuitions or whatever it is that you need. But so it's part of all iterating all of that to say, now in Tracy's package, what she was not explicit with, but I will tell you, is she got a 25% pay increase on top of all of that, which is really remarkable. So she was already making a fair amount of money, and she lives in an expensive part of the world in New York. And so when it got down to negotiating, and he said to her, well, just, we had her whole script ready for her to make her argument about what she was worth. And he said to her, no, just tell me what you want, basically. And she did, and he met it. So everybody's a little different, meaning employers are a little different when it comes to how badly they want you and what they're willing to pay. And then it's up to you to make sure that you can be confident in your ability to either succeed when you get into the role and raise that pay, or walk away from an opportunity that you don't feel is going to pay you enough. And it's very difficult to speculate what the parameters are of all that without knowing what your drivers are. So, but that's how I would think through that. Word Dog Toronto, I just applied for a job with a highly creative group, yet their online promo copy buries the benefit. I'd like to help rewrite this without diminishing their existing efforts. Is that possible? Okay, I'm not entirely sure if you're talking about their marketing copy, about what the benefit is to working with them. But if you are not in the organization, I am not overtly making high recommendations, or a lot of them, as to how they should change. There are different tactics that I would go about doing this. So for example, if I was interviewing for a position and I said that there were loads of opportunities to improve, if they said to me, Andy, okay, you're going to take over this group, what would you do? I would say, well, there are, I would probably try to give us the best chance to succeed, blah, 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 right? All that good stuff. And there's some areas that I would concentrate on. So you could be talking about the copywriting. There are some areas you can concentrate on that might be able to, right, increase your attraction, sales, this, that, and the other thing, right? Okay, so then instead of just saying, I would do this, this, and this, is I don't really know why they haven't done that. Maybe they tried it, it didn't work, they took it out. I would then shift into, have you ever considered this, this, and this? Ask the question. Get a response. We tried that, but it didn't work. Okay, when you did that, did you ask more questions? Now, when you find the problem and they discover that you know something that they didn't, you're hired instantly. It's like they can't even wait to get you hired, right? Kind of thing. So I would say, these are the areas. Have you considered this already? You are setting a table for you to find the gap fastest by asking questions as part of your storytelling if you're presented with the option to do that. And then I wouldn't make assumptions about what they have or have not done. I would ask questions to confirm what they have or have not done. That goes for anybody doing anything of any size. So that's how I would approach that. All right. Kara, wait. If you guys are loving the Morning with Andy Premier's Coffee Careers, if you joined us late, I mentioned we just did a career changer case study. That's going to stay on my YouTube channel. Catch that if you haven't. If you want to join me tomorrow for interview coaching, I'm going to get you set up foundationally for success. You're going to see the first session. Well, you're going to see a portion of the first day of the interview intervention training, which was in 3 parts. You're going to get a portion of one of the parts. It's about an hour and 10 minutes of flat out teaching. And then we're going to do some Q&A. And then on Thursday, I'm meeting privately with members of my job search coaching program, which you are all welcome to be because that's on sale right now. I think there's a link in the chat somewhere. You can check it out if you're not a member and join me Thursday for some more coaching. Not to mention getting the entire program. So great to have you. And if you are enjoying this, make sure to hit the like button. It sends a great signal to YouTube. All right, Joseph, contract hourly is coming to an end. Employer wants me to come up with a salary in case a permanent position becomes available. Any guidelines for coming up with a salary in this situation? Yes, don't, period, stop, ever do that, period, stop, right? So you don't ever want to throw out a number, ever. Why? You don't even know what the job is they want you to do. They said if a job comes up. And even if they said, we want you to do the same exact thing you're doing right now, I would still say, if a position comes up at that time, I'd love to explore that with you. I love you. I'm wildly open to that. And I'm sure that, once we finalize exactly what you want me to do, what the goals and objectives are, I know there are nuances between being a freelancer and being a full-timer. I want to make sure we take all that into account. I'm sure we'll be able to come to something amenable, agreeable, whatever word you want to use. And then as you get in and you start interviewing, or even if it's an expedited interviewing process, still kick it. And then what? I want you to catch the offer, not pitch it. Never pitch an offer. Never pitch the number. You're never going to hit the bullseye, and you're never going to position yourself to make the arguments you need to make in your counteroffer. So you always want them to present the number to you. So I would not avoid that, please, at all costs. A vegan for peace. What is a career changer's primary means if it's not boss hunting? As I've heard Andy say before. All right, Claudia. If you're a career changer, and as a matter of fact, I want to say for you, Claudia, in the job search coaching program, in the most recent, actually maybe it was December, in December's coaching session, I talked about how to triangulate your direction and how to actually triangulate it and target it. It's in the December teaching and Q&A session in your coaching sessions spot category in your program. For anybody else, when you're career changing, there are multiple steps you need to take because you need to make sure you're getting in the route you want to go. And when you get in the route you want to go, you need to look at how can I network into the space I want, in the group I want, within the companies I want. So I would draw a networking map that says, I want to go there. It looks like that's the group that would have the positions that I want to attain. And I would start laying out different avenues to get there. Maybe you know somebody who could get you to the boss. That's a multi-step process. You're not boss hunting, you're networking, and you're getting an intro to the boss. That might work. If you want to target a teammate, I would go that route. There are other groups events, and other things I would lean on, but I would spend 2/3 of every job searching hour that I was expending doing nothing but networking and trying to get referrals to the places I want to go. If you say, well, Andy, I just don't know anybody who knows anybody at whatever, then target a teammate and try to build a relationship with a teammate to see if they could share. You could say, my name's Claudia. I'm considering making a change. I noticed you work at, you have the profile that I just, squealed with glee when I saw it. It's exactly what I want to be when I grow up. I'm wondering if you would be willing to share with me how you enjoy working, or if you enjoy working there, and how you enjoy being whatever. And try to open up a relationship with them of some kind so you can interact. And ask them, is there anything based on my background? And by the way, you don't do this all in one exchange, right? What did I say? The longer term you think and the more time you give yourself to be successful, the better short-term moves you'll make. There's nothing wrong with iterating this. And then what did Tracy do? I networked like crazy. I didn't talk again to anybody who wasn't open-minded about my transition, my story, and my whatever. What else did she do? She brushed up on skill sets that she was going to use. Now, I want to be careful here. I don't want you running out and studying and buying everything and going back and getting a degree or any of that stuff. If you are fully committed to making the change and you want to be a project manager and you know that getting a PMP certification will help you, then by all means go and spend your time to do that, because what? Again, long term, that's an asset that you'll have and no one can ever take it away from you, and it'll help you, educate you on what it is that you're about to do. Not to mention it's a safety net in the event you get in and you decide, I don't want to do this because of what I'm learning. But I would be considering all of these things, and I would have multiple streams of ways that I would be networking. And for you, Claudia, I've outlined a lot of this in the program. So that's what I would do there. But direct boss hunting is not the way to go if you don't have. It's one thing to say, hey, I'm a salesperson with a great track record and I've sold complex products in IT, in this, that, and the other thing. I've just never sold it for a consumer product goods company or a financial services company, and I really want to break into the space. Would you be open to connecting with me? That's one thing, because you have 9 of the 10 things that boss would want, except the industry expertise or the solution line expertise. So think about that. And Deborah, sorry, what's up with all the news? With all the news about there being too many jobs and not enough people, any changes you'd recommend when using boss hunting technique or overall job hunt? So, not to be funny, but I would not be paying any attention to there not being any jobs. The statistics that I look at tell me that there are still way more people than there are jobs. And while I understand that might not be a complete match to match, meaning if you're an engineer and I have an accounting job, we don't exactly match. I understand that. But the balance is still in the employee's favor. It is. People are still getting gigantic raises because employers still can't get enough people. And yes, I understand that some organizations have hiring freezes and those kind of things. But on an aggregate level, that is not the case, in my opinion. And even if it was, take the worst. I'll give you the worst period I could ever remember in my 34 years of working. And that was 2008 and 9 and 10, because the crash of 2000 and 2001 and the tech bubble bursting paled in comparison to what happened in the mid to late 2000s when it was the Great Recession. And even in those times, companies were still hiring because people were moving from job to job. Right? They were creating vacancies, and there were industries and companies that were thriving. The point is to find what those are and focus on those. And boss hunting, to me, is the greatest way to do that. And Deborah, the other thing about boss hunting, and anybody else who's boss hunting, every single thing that you do, every step that you take, every conversation you have, every email you send, every direct message you send is what? It's not just an attempt or a swing at the plate. It is a chance to gather some data. What's happening when I email bosses in these kind of companies? Everybody needs to be paying attention to what the reaction is to their outreach. And if you send stuff and you say, well, no one's getting back to me, before I would just dismiss it and say, well, it's that industry, it's that position type, it's that whatever, I would check my own internals. Is my resume in order? Am I targeting the right companies? Did I get the right person? Am I consistent? And for most of you, the consistency is what's going to win out. It isn't the trends. The markets go this. By the way, every time the market's going up like this for some industries, it's going like this for others, and vice versa. So I would not be paying attention to all the noise that's going on around there. I'm only going to focus on what I can control, and the only thing I can control is how well I put this together, how consistent I am in circulating it, the level of effectiveness that I can put into my networking messages, my cover letters, the resume, and those kind of things. So I would not be making any changes. Free Radical Ranch, quick question. I had an interview yesterday, but only have an email. Only have an email for 2 of the 5 committee members. Do you have a polite way to request that a thank you email be forwarded to everyone? And by the way, so I'm not sure if this is what you meant, but I'm gonna give you multiple parts here. When you send a thank you email, if you have a panel of 5 people, that's 5 thank you emails you're sending, not 1 to each of them. It's 5 unique emails. The first part of the thank you part of the thank you email is thank you. The bottom part, which is the third part, this is the Andy School of Thank You Writing, is about how excited you are and all that good stuff. That can be the same language. The middle part, which is the money part, so to speak, where you're actually going to make a personal connection and also include why you are the right person for the job, is going to be unique to each of the 5 people. There's got to be something that you've done, said, or exchanged in that interview where you can uniquely comment to each of those people how you connect with them and why you're the right person for the job in terms they would care about. Okay, that's the first thing. Second thing is you only have 2 of the emails for the 5. So I'd go to the recruiter, the HR person, the hiring official, or whoever quarterbacked the interview process, whoever is your logistics handler, and say, I had a great time. I only got 2 of the emails. I want to send an email to each of the people. Would you be willing to give me the other 3? The recruiter's going to say yes or no. They're likely going to say yes, especially because you said I have 2 of the 5. If they say, we'd prefer not to give that out to you, say, okay, no problem. I'm going to send you 5 individual emails, and would you please forward these to each of the people? And do that and then just send them directly to the recruiter or the HR person. And that's how I would do that. And then INSIT. I have been trying to get a job for a year now, and despite having STEM education from a top university and some work experience, I always get rejected. Am I just unemployable? Of course you're not unemployable. The reality is that it makes no difference to most employers. I won't say all, and I won't say never, and I won't say always, but most employers do not care about where you went to school or what you studied, with the exception of if you are coming right out of school, the fact that they're open to hiring somebody with no experience, that school or degree might help. But if you've been working for any period of time, and any period of time is, let's call it 6 months or longer, no one cares about where you went to school. Most don't. They really don't. So then it becomes a function of the marketing of you. So I don't know why you're not having luck, but it could be, right? Level of consistency, sending out your messages each day, and all that good stuff. One thing I would definitely do, and I don't know based on your handle if you have any of my programs, but assuming that you do not, we just did a live office hours session Thursday, so a couple of work days ago, where I talked about staying positive and motivated in your job search. And I give you some mechanics of how I would follow through with that and how I would be consistent. And the consistency is going to win over time. It will. You can never beat consistency. That I will use the word never. So give that a look. Richard Moranis, Looking for a year, doing everything wrong, found you 2 weeks ago, welcome aboard. First offer today, awesome. Comp is low and firm move, meaning you need to move but need the job. Bird in the hand or keep the job search now that I have you. Low volume, niche executive role. Okay, so wait, so let's go backwards. So first thing, Richard, I would say to you is, and everybody else who thinks this, there is, I'm going to say always, no such thing as low volume. There's low volume in terms of how you're thinking. That's limited thinking. There are always opportunities, I'll use the word always, opportunities out there and available if you are doing the right things and being consistent and doing it day in and day out. I assure you, there are companies that would fall all over themselves to hire you. You might not have found them yet, but it probably has more to do with your thinking, your marketing of you, your consistency. And so that's the first thing that I hope you can have a kind of a more fresh outlook on. They're out there. There are plenty of chief investment officer positions, chief information officer positions, product management positions, marketing officer positions. There are 8 billion people in the world. There's loads of companies and loads of people who would hire you. Then it becomes a function of how diligently are you looking and how consistently are you marketing you, and then how effectively are you marketing you. And so that's the first thing. The second thing is, I won't tell you you should keep looking or you shouldn't keep looking, because you have to factor in, can you not put food on the table? And like, I'm going to tell you, take a job, move if you need to, and you can keep looking if this isn't your dream job. If you say, well, no, Andy, I have loads of savings and I could go a whole year and I don't need the money, then that's different. So the personal factors that you have to account for are completely different. I have no attachment to those, but the way I would think through this is, so I'm constantly conditioning myself to believe that what I want to happen will happen, and that as long as I continue to put the work in, it will happen. It has its own timetable of when it's going to show up, but I know it's there. And then it becomes a matter of belief and putting in the work each day. So if you're going to do all of that and you don't want to make the move, now to make a move is a big deal. And I also don't know, are you just moving yourself? Can you move and move back very quickly? Are you moving a family of 6? Like, all those things are going to play a part of whether I would, what I would factor into my decision. So it's difficult to say. Richard Moranis. Let's see. Send comps in negotiation. Niche position for new org. They just don't know. Recruiters specializing in exact role. Release placement data. Legit comps. 50 years show 100% higher than they think. I'm not all sure what all of that means. But one thing is certain is that there is no legit, there's no comparables. I don't, like, one project manager who makes $100,000 could walk into a new company and they could pay him $150 immediately, or $50. So I'm not really sure what to say about all that, and I'm not even sure about all what you just shared with me there. Jose Luis, while doing my search, I did notice there are a lot of FP&A jobs out there. There are, but with recent layoffs that we've seen in the news, will there now be a surplus of labor? I don't think so, but I don't know. But I would not don't let the news dictate your behavior. What is it that I want to happen? How do I make that happen? What do I need to do to make that happen? That's it. All this other stuff is noise. It really is. The world is not anywhere near as bad as all the stuff, the 24/7, incessant, in-your-face stuff that you hear. Dana, how do you view companies that laid off 11% of employees in November and are still hiring now from a job seeker's perspective in evaluating companies? I don't even think about it. The 11% that they laid off were in a particular unit or units or location. Motorola some years back lays 4,000 people off. Why? I don't want to build that chip anymore. Off it goes. I'm hiring like crazy over here because this is more strategic in my company. Okay, some other company lays off 11% of its workers. Why? Well, I don't know. I'm not doing new product development, but I have a whole boatload of customers I need to support. I need customer service agents. Right, so it's looking at what is actually happening. Get into the details of why that particular company let go of those people. What am I? What do I want to be? Where is that? And I go and I look. That's it. I mean, I focus on what I want to happen. I don't try to avoid what's going on around me. I think about, what is it I want to make happen? How do I make that happen? What is it going to take? And am I willing to put the effort in? That's how I do that. Tom Phillips, ignore the headlines. I had a recruiter contact me about a job at Microsoft same day they were announcing layoffs. Microsoft is going to continue to hire. And they will. And they're going to say, we are in a hiring freeze. No, they're not in a hiring freeze. What happens when somebody leaves and they need to replace the person? Right? No one is ever in a hiring freeze. They'll say, we're in a hiring freeze, meaning what? Meaning we're not growing. They're always replacing. Every time a company goes into a hiring freeze, what happens? Oh my goodness, my company's in a hiring freeze. I better find a new job. And then people start vacating from other areas. And those areas still need to be refilled. And even though it's net zero, they're still hiring. Right? Why do I tell you? I always want you targeting companies, not roles. I want you sending boss hunting messages and even straight out cover letters with no job opening. So you have a no job opening cover letter that's on my YouTube channel. You got a couple of boss hunting cover letters that are on my YouTube channel. You got the boss hunting cover letter where if you know a position exists or if you don't know if a position exists. If you're not sure, just use the latter. Free radical range. I love that asshole. Related to earlier question, multiple thank yous. Assuming the same email request strategy of the interview coordinator would be the new boss if hired, I'm not sure what you're asking me here. I'm not sure what you're asking me there. Letitia Walter, how and when to bring up special needs possibilities due to health condition? It depends what the health condition is. And while I haven't had a chance to map out this entire response I'm going to give you, so go with me on this. There are different layers of health conditions. I have a health condition where I'm going to need some accommodations and I need to be ready at any moment in time should I encounter an episode or whatever. But generally speaking, I don't have any issues. But something could happen because of an ailment that I have or a health condition that I have. That's one thing. I probably wouldn't even mention that. If I have another thing that is a health condition of mine that would likely not prohibit me from performing the function, but it is something that I'd want them to know, it's present with me all the time, meaning it's always present, but it's not going to hinder me from doing my job, I probably wouldn't say anything. If it's something that's going to prohibit me from doing my job, I would say it right away as a disability that you have. So you asked me when, that's what I would do. That's what I would do there. Okay, Kara, I got a chat going on the premiere. I got a chat going on the live show. I got you chat slacking me. Where am I at now? Can I go into the chat and say hi? Who haven't I said hi to yet? Loretto, New Life Creator, Kurt, Ramil, MJ, Maria, what's up? Gigi, hey, we're at the bottom of chat. Okay, Donna Morley, Tom, okay, wait, I can go to the bottom of chat? No more questions? Sure, my dogs finally stopped barking and your questions stopped. All right, wait, so I'll put an announcement. Hey, I'm still fielding questions till 8:30. Come on, you got 11 more minutes of me. Heart blanche. So tomorrow, interview intervention training. It's free. It's on the YouTube channel. It's really good. Interview intervention, if you want the $1,000 course, is $500 off right now. If you want to get in my job search coaching program, I give the interview intervention training for free as a bonus. The interactive service package is $200 off. So instead of $997, that's $797, and you get the online support and the live group coaching support with that. If you want the job search coaching program but don't want to pay the $797, we have a $697 self-study, but it's worth the extra $100, especially when it's on special. And if you got any questions, always hit us back at support. You can reply to any of my emails. I and Kara look at those with what comes into our support inbox. We are pretty hawkish, so we try to stay on top of it because we love emails. Why? Because I work so hard to get you to email me. I cherish every email you send me. Right? I don't understand people who get upset because their inbox is full because they work so hard to get all those emails. Right? That doesn't make any sense to me. All right, let's see. Les Bruce, what's up? SS from Milwaukee. It's like down the block. Jose, I was about to walk my dogs and of course it started raining again. Hilarious. Okay. What do we got? Assuming same, free radical rants. Assuming same strategy on the interview follow-up, we email request even if the interview... Okay, wait, I think I saw that. I don't understand. I'm so sorry. I don't understand the question. When you have an interview, send a thank you email, just at a minimum, thanking them for the time, letting them know you're excited, letting them know why you're the right person for the job, and make it unique. Mr. Epic Guy. Advice on resigning from a position that you only worked at for a couple of days, leaving a job because I got a better offer. Okay, Mr. Epic Guy, in this case, I want to thank you for letting me know exactly why you're leaving, because that's going to be part of how I would resign. I would go into my boss immediately and say, look, I'm so sorry about this. I wish the timing was better. I have my dream job. I got to go. He's a big boy or she's a big girl. They'll get it. And it's better that you leave after a couple days than a couple of months. So that's what I would do. And I would resign and I would say, look, I'll leave it to your discretion. If there's and it depends on what kind of job you have. If it's something that you're doing and there's repetition in it and you can keep them afloat for a little while, maybe, you give them a chance to start getting a candidate pipeline up. If they say, hey, don't worry about it, we'll see you later. Off you go. But that's what I would do. Word Dog Toronto, best questions to uncover the gap, challenges they need help with right now that job candidate skills can solve. Yes, I like that. So what are the biggest challenges? Or there's other ways to uncover gaps. If you ask the recruiter up front, how long's the position open? How many people have they interviewed? A gap question is, what's been missing in the candidates that you've interviewed that has caused you not to hire somebody yet? That's a gap question as well, because you want to know, do I have that skill? Or how do I highlight that skill? Or how do I highlight that experience? Let's see. Agarwal J. Wait, what is that? Is that VJ? Who is that? I can't remember all your handles. It's like a lot of stuffed up here. Andy, understand networking accounts for bulk of job conversion for experienced or highly paid professionals. That's true. How important is it to have the premium profile on LinkedIn? I'm wondering if you asked me this. I have a few questions in the system I haven't answered. I'm wondering if you asked me this, if that was you. It's difficult to say the value of LinkedIn Premium, meaning I don't think it's really great and I don't think it's really bad. Okay, so what I would say is, and I think I've told you guys this. I pay $19.95 a month for LinkedIn and have, I think, since 2004 or 5 when they started. So I don't know what the costs are, but if it's a situation where you're in a job search and you want to try it out and you get the in-mails and maybe some other things, it might be worth it. And you could try it and cancel it. And what I would recommend is try before you buy, meaning I would go on a month to month if they offer that still, and then convert. That's what I would do there. It's hard to say. Maria, boss hunting. I'm connected to thousands of key executives on LinkedIn. Boss hunting has yielded no responses yet. How do I enrich old connections? Okay, wait. These are not connect. So the number of people you are connected to and your boss hunting efforts have nothing to do with each other. Because I could be connected to a lot of people and doing boss hunting very poorly. Again, there's a multi-step process that I would use to troubleshoot why your boss hunting efforts are not working. Maria, for you, job search challenge, module or session 5 is the overcoming obstacles and the challenges. And I go through the pecking order at an aggregate level and then in a detailed step-by-step level of what I would check and how I would check it. And that's where I would go. Because if you're boss hunting and it's not working, are you targeting the right people? Are you targeting the right companies? Is your resume in order? Is your networking message or cover letter or email, whatever you want to call it, in order? Right? There's a number of different things that you, and then we keep going from there, because any of those things could be incorrect. And I've told the story many, many times that, we had this one guy, Kevin, great guy, high earner, got in the boot camp, got in my job search coaching program, and he was doing the job search challenge. I recommend to scale it out, do it for 2 weeks every single day, 14 days in a row. That's what I want you to do to test it. And if you do my job search challenge every day for 14 days, you're going to have 42 messages, because it's 3 messages a day, 3 companies a day, finding individuals either at the company or who can get you to somebody at the company, and sending a message, 3 messages a day. That's 42. He sends 42. He goes 0 for 42. Then he emails me. This is before we had the formal job searching challenge in all the videos and all the breakdowns and all the troubleshooting and everything. And he said, Andy, this isn't working. I said, okay, try these. I want you to check these 8 things. Are you targeting the right companies? Are you targeting the right boss? Is your resume wholly in order? And I go through this in the system with him, and I'm typing him this. And he said, yeah, I checked everything out. Everything's good. So now I'm not sure what I want to do, and I know if I look at his resume, I can at least eliminate that. I said, send me your resume. I'm only going to glance at it, and I want to see it first. And he said, okay, in the system, he said, well, I had a professional resume writer do this. I spent $1,000. I thought that was in order. I'll email it to you. He emails it to me. I open it up, 2 seconds. I shut it. I said, it's your resume. Do me a favor, go through the resume instruction, use my template, change this and that, make sure you put this, this, and this in there. And I said, do not send another message out until you do that. He did that, had it done in a couple days, sent it back to me, open it up, bang, you're in order, go. I said, now I want you to send your messages to the same 42 people, like you never sent them. Just go rewind the clock and do it again. Not all at once. I want you to do it over 2 weeks. So I want to see what happens. He got 7 interviews. Same people, different resume. So this is the kind of stuff where it could be anywhere. The problem can be, it's like water in your house. And it's like, I don't know where the damn leak is, right? Has anybody ever had a water leak in their house? And you're wondering where it ain't sealed. So it's, Maria, go to session. Well, so now Kevin didn't have the luxury of that video. You do not. You now have it. And I'm sure you will figure that out. And then Kara's telling me, Zeno, one of your students just introduced me to you yesterday. I was laid off from a Fortune 500 company after 25 years with them. Where do you suggest I begin with your offerings? So, number one, whoever the person was who referred you to me, thank him or her or them or whoever it was. I genuinely appreciate that. That is really, really nice of them. I do appreciate that and never take that for granted. The second thing is, being laid off after not looking for 25 years is scary. So I appreciate the situation that you're in, and I can only imagine how you're feeling, because I don't know how you're feeling exactly, because this has never happened to me before, right? But I can tell you this. There are a lot of people who were in my job search coaching program, and if you want to check out Kara, could we drop the page for Zeno, for the one where I show him or her, the people who have been at their companies for 25 years or 30 years or 19 years who hadn't looked, and job changing is very different. Job changing is hard when you know what you're doing. It's really, really hard when you are not familiar with what will work, what the new trends are, and how to go about it. So if you're looking at my premium offerings, then I would look at the job search coaching program. It's a great time because there is a special going on for the next day or two. And that is the single greatest #1 value, most content, and support. That's where I would go if I had the money and I could pay the $797. If you don't and you're not sure, then what I would do is I would look on my YouTube channel and try to get an assessment of how to actually job search. And I would not write my resume first. You got to figure out where you want to go, why you want to go there. You have to understand what the routes are to get you there. And then you work backwards to, okay, what is it I need to say to those people to entice them to give me an interview? Then when I get the interview, so a lot of people, they start in the wrong place. I really want you to start. Actually, the really great thing for you, Zeno, is tomorrow with the interviewing session that we're going to go through, you're going to get a nice taste of the first 2 things that you should do as a job seeker. Because if those are not in order, there's no way you're going to get by the interviews or make a good decision when you do get by the interviews and get the job offer. So the job search coaching program is the best place to start if you can swing it. If you can't, I would look at my YouTube channel and try to look for videos about how to start your job search in the right place. That's a great free video that I have out there, and other job search related videos to get a sense of what you're in for. So I hope that helps. And then how are we doing on time? All right, so I gotta run, folks. But wait, this was loads of fun. I want to thank everybody who got up early with me. Oh, maybe it's early, maybe it's late. I don't know where you are. But I'm going to be back tomorrow at 11. If you have any questions about promotions, free webcasts, and all that stuff, email us at support@milewalk.com. But next 2 days, tomorrow's a free interview intervention coaching and a Q&A, couple of hours. I'll be on from 11 to 1. And then on Thursday, another couple hours, 11 to 1. That's a premium group coaching session for members of my job search coaching program, which I call boot campers because it used to be called the boot camp, or it used to be called the job search boot camp. So thank you all. If you got value out of this, click the like button. Make sure to share it. I'll see you tomorrow. Love you all. Take care.